The Nintendo Switch is currently in its 7th year on the market, a system which Nintendo themselves have said is only meant to stay on the market for 7 to 10 years. Many Nintendo fans and critics alike are calling for Nintendo to drop their next big thing, their next system. So does that mean we will never get to see Tomodachi Life get its sequel or remaster on the Nintendo Switch? Not that Tomodachi Life will never get a remaster or sequel, I'm sure it will, but is it too late for it to come to the Nintendo Switch? The Nintendo Switch came out March 3rd of 2017 and was an instant hit, selling over 1.5 million units in its first week and currently sitting at over 125 million units sold, and is Nintendo's second biggest selling system of all time. However, success can only last so long. In the last fiscal year, all Nintendo Switch sales were down, except the OLED model, the newest model. In fact, the Nintendo Switch family of systems has seen a 22% sales drop since the previous year. And for the next fiscal year, they are predicting a further drop, leading us to believe that the next fiscal year may be the last year Nintendo will plan to keep the Nintendo Switch as their only system on the market. This means after March of 2024, we may be looking at an announcement sometime in 2024. Many people predict Nintendo intends to achieve their aim of 15 million units sold, which they themselves call a bit of a stretch, by most likely having holiday sales for the Nintendo Switches themselves, aiming to sell off as much hardware as they can to boost software sales while they still can. Nintendo has said that they plan for the Switch to stay on the market for 7 to 10 years, so March of 2024 marks 7 full years, putting us in that time frame. Not only that, but the Switch is likely to stay on the market for a time even after the next system becomes available. After all, the 3DS family of systems didn't get taken off the market by Nintendo till 2020, 3 years after the Nintendo Switch entered the market. If the Nintendo Switch followed this pattern, it would officially leave the market after turning 10 years old. 7 to 10 years achieved. So, if the Nintendo Switch is taken off the market, what comes next? Well, it's hard to imagine. Honestly, the Nintendo Switch was such a success, I doubt they'd want to differ far from that. Yet again, their top-selling systems have been handheld. The top-selling Nintendo system of all time was the Nintendo DS, then the Switch, Game Boy, Wii, Game Boy Advance, 3DS, you get the gist. Nintendo dominates the market of handheld systems, and were the first to invent the hybrid handheld and console system, the Nintendo Switch. It's likely that they could use the hybrid system and add previous ideas to it. Maybe some of the things that made the DS, 3DS families, and the Wii so successful. One thing they may consider in this case would be a true revival of the Miis. Miis were introduced when the Wii came out and have been a beloved part of Nintendo ever since. However, the Nintendo Switch barely utilizes the Miis and only has one Mii game on it, Miitopia. But what if Miitopia's remaster is more than just a game, but a test for Nintendo? Designing, planning, and making a new console is a huge undertaking, so it's not hard to imagine that they are already years into making and developing the next system. What if they wanted to know if Miis were still profitable, and how people would react to large-scale changes and additions to Miis that would bring them more into modern times? Well, how about if they remastered a classic Mii game, an RPG, so it's easy enough to follow the same story and mechanics just in case it's a flop, so Nintendo could see fans' reactions. They make the wig and makeup feature to add more to the Mii Maker, as well as to see if fans would like it. And fans love it! Miitopia Remaster on the Nintendo Switch sells phenomenally well. As of March of 2022, it had sold 1.68 million units, a 37.7% increase from the 1.22 million units the 3DS game sold. Not to mention, these are old figures, over a year old. I know I bought my game in 2023, so that figure is undoubtedly higher now. Oh, and that new Mii Maker? Fans go crazy! They love it, they adore it, they worship it. Now Nintendo knows for their next system that their fans still love Miis, and that adding to their existing Miis with new features will get great feedback. Much unlike the feedback they received about Sportsmates. So with this information, they start developing Miis for their next Nintendo system to be integral again, just like in the 3DS and Wii days. And start development on Mii games for the console, such as Tomodachi Life Sequel. Not to mention that maybe the Switch just isn't as good of a place to put the sequel. If they happen to make use of a touchscreen on the next console, as the Switch's touchscreen is underutilized, and for all we know, it could have dual screens, camera, or even a mic. All features of the 3DS that were used in Tomodachi Life that the Switch lacks. And we have no way of knowing if the next console could have. That is to say, the future system Nintendo is currently crafting may just be a better fit for a Tomodachi Life sequel. When the Nintendo Switch came out, it had an incredible first year of games, launching with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, then seeing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Odyssey that first year, as well as many more games. This boosted sales of the Nintendo Switch exponentially, because if you wanted to play the biggest Legend of Zelda ever made, and the most amazing sandbox Mario game where you get to play as every Mario Universe creature, then you had to buy a Nintendo Switch. And people did. Of course they did! So I think it's very possible, if not guaranteed, that Nintendo is currently working their butts off to make an incredible lineup games for the first year of their next Nintendo system. That may be why we are seeing so many more remakes and remasters lately, as they take less time than bringing new games and series. So Nintendo focuses their energy on making more brand new big games for their next system. Now, let's pivot for a moment to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm not sure Nintendo was ready for or expecting New Horizons to flourish as much as it did, currently sitting at second best-selling Nintendo Switch game of all time, with over 42 million units sold, standing over 10 million more units sold than the third place winner. Not to mention, out of the top 6 games, it is the youngest, and therefore the one with the least amount of time on the market to amass those sales. This has proven to Nintendo, more than ever, the power of the casual market. And that market includes Animal Crossing, yes, but also Tomodachi Life. What's more casual than creating Miis and watching them live out their wacky lives while helping them with the little problem and feeding them food that makes them shoot off into outer space like a rocket? Whee! A Tomodachi Life sequel coming out in the first year of the next Nintendo system's lifespan will boost sales from casual gamers like us by so much. I didn't buy my Nintendo Switch till September of 2018, when Animal Crossing was officially teased for the Nintendo Switch, a full year and a half into the system's lifespan. Casual gamers need a good reason to drop a lot of money on a system. And while we may enjoy a Mario and Zelda every now and then, we put years into games like Animal Crossing and Tomodachi Life. And often, that's what we are waiting for before we jump and buy the next system. Tomodachi Life getting a sequel will be the explosion of hype from the casual fans that we need in that first year of the next system. All of this is to say that it is very likely that the only reason we haven't seen Tomodachi Life on the Switch yet is because Nintendo is making the next Tomodachi game for their next system. After all, we can't get a game announcement when the system it's on hasn't even been announced yet. Now, I haven't given up all hope on a Tomodachi game coming to the Switch. They have games planned for 2024, and there's still in all likelihood a huge September Direct for the Nintendo Switch coming this year, and a chance it could be announced then. But I think we have a very high likelihood that we just aren't going to see its sequel till we see the sequel to the Nintendo Switch. If that's the case, I'm fine with that. It will give the game more time to sell on a newer system, and therefore more incentive to Nintendo to keep making the game series for generations to come. I know one day we will get a new Tomodachi game. So tell me in the comments, when and for what system do you think we will see it on? I love you all, bye! Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoy Animal Crossing, Tomodachi Life, and cozy Nintendo gaming in general, consider subscribing to join the family. And if you liked today's video, gently tap that like button so YouTube likes me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Love you all, bye!